So every hotelier knows that the most important person in the business is actually the guest. And whenever you stay at any great hotel, you notice that. You notice how people treat you, how every detail is taken care of, and how the whole experience ties together perfectly. However, whenever I look at most hotel websites, that's completely thrown out the window. And in today's day and age, the experience of your guests does not actually start when they arrive to the hotel. It starts when you see your hotel online. Whether it's in booking.com, whether it's in your website, Expedia, whatever way they find you, they will see your website and all your content online first. The biggest difference between having your hotel shown in booking.com or in Google is that their product has been tried and tested by an army of product managers, data engineers, and software developers, which are sole focus is improving the platform for users and increasing revenue. On the other side, your website hasn't been updated in the last 12 months, and some of the stuff you have there is outdated and doesn't really reflect your values and your mission. And after all of this, you could say, why even bother if OTAs are already working with huge teams to analyze their data and improve, and I can take advantage of that. And while that's completely true, and you should still take advantage of those platforms, your hotel is actually a commodity there, and it's really difficult to differentiate and to communicate your value proposition to the guest. All the while, it's a platform that does not belong to you, and if they decide to change it at any point, it's going to affect your performance there. And obviously, the elephant in the room is the amount of commission you end up paying for that. But welcome to the second session of the course. Today, we'll be talking about understanding your audience, which, in our experience, is one of the most important parts of this process. So, let's get right into it. So, what we'll cover today is first of all the importance of knowing your guests, why you should know your guests, then a tool which is really useful and is creating customer personas. The other one is how to actually conduct market research to get insights into how to improve your offering. And the last one is segmenting your audience. So the first part of this process, and really going back to the roots of all marketing, all digital product business development, it's understanding your guest. Who is your ideal guest? How old is he? What values does he hold? Is he traveling for business? Traveling for leisure? What problems do they have? What goals are they trying to achieve, and what frustrates them? All of this is actually going to play a pivotal role when you're designing the online experience, and you need to have clarity around all of these topics. The good thing is that most hoteliers I talk with already know this in their head. They already know the kind of person that books in their hotel. But going a step deeper, you can validate that by looking at the historic booking data of your hotel and different tools like Google Analytics and analyzing all that you have to get clear about who your guest is. And maybe you get surprised. Maybe you find some other segments that you didn't think about before. At the end of the video, I'll leave a customer persona template for you to complete in the resources section, but that's mainly what you should be doing. And a lot of people think this is actually not useful exercise, but imagine how different hostel for solo travelers in, let's say, Budapest is against a boutique hotel in Soho in New York. Like the kind of person that chooses each place is going to completely be different, and they're going to be looking for some experience in their booking journey is going to differ from it completely. And that's why we look for clarity. That's what we're looking for. We're looking to tailor the experience to your most freaking guest and make your website unique to them. This difference needs to show up in your website, needs to show up in your online communication somehow. So you're probably already seen this visual, which is basically comparing King Charles and Ozzy Osbourne from the common marketing perspective of the demographics. And even though it's cliche and already used, this is why using customer personas is key in order to know exactly what potential guests are looking for. And there are a few approaches to building customer personas, and they usually focus on some of these variables, but a lot more. It goes a lot deeper into an actual person, not only just a few data about demographics. So the first one is like age, gender, income, location, all of the demographics. Then one that I'm really passionate about when I work with any clients is the behavior patterns, how they behave on a website, how do they actually book, how do they find a hotel, what are the preferred communication channels, what kind of social media they use, etc. Then, and this is really crucial, is about the goals and needs. What are they looking for when they choose a hotel? What problems are they actually looking to solve? Where are their pain points where they're traveling? What do they hate about checking in? What do they hate about location? Like really honing down on that. And that's it. That's mostly covers what you'll need, but you also might include things like values, vision, or whatever you consider relevant, like design style, fashion style, whatever you think actually is gonna add value to to your campaigns, to your communication. And the idea here is to actually create an hypothesis or of what you think it is, and then try to find sources to validate that. And this is also like a living document. You're gonna be coming back here all the time. If you have some new information you find from a guest, you're gonna try to update here, and this is what you will look at whenever you're trying to show something of your hotel outside. So how do we actually look for this? The demographic section could be easily addressed with Google Analytics. This is a tool that provides detailed insights into all of the variables we need. And by analyzing these reports, we can actually get a clear picture of who your website visitors are, and then compare that to who your website bookers are. So maybe you have a lot of people visiting in the age from 25 to 34, but actually the people that book the most are 65 and over. So those are some interesting things to see, and Google Analytics makes it really easy to do. And also the great thing about Google Analytics is that it's really easy to set up and a little bit more complex to understand. But if you spend a couple hours, you'll get how to use it. Then, and this is really important and a little bit more complex, is about behavior. How do they use their websites? What is actually getting their attention, and where they are going through the booking process. So there are a few tools we mentioned in last session, which is Hotjar and Content Square. This allows you to see recordings. So for example, if someone goes to a website and it spends like 3 minutes there, going through your different rooms, seeing your different properties, maybe start a booking process and then leave it that way, you'll be able to see that, and you'll be able to see in real time what they're doing. So the information you get from these types of tools is really important for choosing which parts of the customer journey to actually improve. Because if you see that everyone's going away on the first step of the booking process, okay, maybe there's something wrong there, and maybe we should focus on how to improve that. Then all of this is going to make you, whenever you design an experiment and you, for example, decide to change the copy of your website, you will also need to understand if the changes are having any impact in your KPIs. So you could see that qualitative, like with these tools, or you can see that quantitative with Google Analytics and different tools that we're going to talk about during the course. But keep in mind that in order to analyze properly, these tools will need to be running for at least a month before the data is actually relevant and statistically significant. So if you need any help installing any of these on your website. It's really easy to do. It just takes a couple hours. And feel free to reach me out. We can help you with that also. So, and this is where it gets fun because you get to talk with real people. But goals, needs, and papers are your guests. This is the most important part to inform the design of your booking journey. But what is actually the guest trying to achieve? There are different ways to find out about this, and it's basically interviews, surveys, and event-based analytics. I have to say I'm a little bit biased because I love interviewing, but to me, it is actually the king of all user research. There are very few things that actually beat talking to someone, to a loyal customer, and understanding like really what motivated them to keep on coming to your hotel, what you like, what they didn't like. I put together a template of an interview you could use with your guests, so you can just go ahead and try to set up a few interviews. But the goal here is for you to get understanding on what you can improve. It doesn't even need to only be in the website. It could also be like in your actual property. So then you have the part of the service, which tools like Hoteliers allow you to use insert points during the booking journey. You've probably seen this already. Like whenever you buy something, they say like, "How was the experience from 1 to 10?" So this is gonna give you more of a qualitative view of how people are perceiving your product, and it's an easy, straightforward way of finding improvement points. And last but not least, moving away from only the Google Analytics setup, you will gather insightful information with tools like Mixpanel, Google Tag Manager, or Amplitude by setting up events. So Google Analytics has something that is called like view-based analytics, which basically means whenever someone sees a page, that's when they capture the information. With events-based analytics, it's actually what the user does in your page. So for example, if they click on a link, if they scroll down to the end of the page, that's where you get the most valuable information, in my opinion, because for example, you can see the whole funnel from when they start booking to when they actually have to pay, and you can find the places in which there's more drop off to see how to improve that. So a quote that I really like is, "Know your customer needs better than they do themselves." And this will not only impact your direct channels or your online bookings, this will impact all of your operations in your hotel, from the design standpoint to the customer satisfaction and the customer support and the food you choose and the different amenities you have. So this is really crucial, and I urge everybody to try to interview their guests at least once, at least once. And last but not least, after doing all of this research and analysis, you will now have a clearer understanding of your guests, and maybe you can break it down into different 2 or 3 different personas. Then you can talk to specifically with their pain points, their needs, and create a whole experience around that kind of people. So, just an example, you could have the European couple and the business executive and the wellness seeker in your hotel. And as I said again and again, this will not only be useful for your marketing material and your website material, it will also be beneficial for all the rest of your hotel operation. And right now, I'm gonna spoil a little bit of what we learned so far. So we already learned how to know your audience through customer personas, how to conduct the market research, and how to segment your audience. Last time we learned a lot of what conversion rates are, what they're really important, and I'm gonna give you a sneak peek of what the plan is gonna look like at the end of the course that you will be able to take to your company and try to. And don't worry, don't get overwhelmed. This is all super doable, and it's gonna make a whole lot of results for your company. But this is what we call the conversion sprint, which is basically a process that we use on a daily basis with our clients, and where we create different things. So a conversion audit, we'll see that next week. then the experiment design, experiment launch, and the analysis and conclusions. We're going to tie that all together during the course, and you will be able to do this from start to finish and hopefully see a lot of improvement in your direct channels. So if you come this far, thank you very much. I truly appreciate it, and I hope it was valuable for you. If you need any help, require a free audit, or just want to message me and have a conversation, feel free to send me a DM through LinkedIn. And if not, just make sure to visit us at Zerf to find out more about the work we're doing. Until next session, thank you.